Ephesians chapter 5, amen. And we'll be looking at some scriptures there. Just deal with everything that we've been dealing with and everything that's going on. We just want to try to address some things. And the first thing he says is this. He says, do as God would do. Much loved children want to do as their fathers do. Live with love as Christ loved you. He gave himself for us a gift on the altar to God, which was a sweet smell to God. And so it's simply just saying this, regardless of who we are, our focus should be to do what God does, what God would want us to do. Amen. And it always says children want to do as their fathers do. Amen. It's just the same. Not that they don't want to do like their mother, but it's just the boys, everybody watching. They talk about the Father, they talking about God. And whenever Jesus talked about anything, he always said he followed his Father. And so that's what we just want to kind of deal with this morning. Amen. Amen. Now this part says, do not let sex sins or anything sinful be even talked about among those who belong to Christ. Do not always want everything. And do not be guilty of telling bad stories or foolish talk. These things are not for you to do. Instead, you are to give thanks for what God has done for you. I know all this is kind of strange, but we were coming up in school. And the kids may not think this, but on the playground, they talked about sex things on the playground. We were coming up, and I know they talk about them now at school. So don't act like, no, they don't. We talk about this stuff at school. No, this comes up. I remember, I'm not going to say the words I saw. When I first got to Chamberlain School and went in the bathroom, had never seen the words at my mama's house. But some of the things I saw on the wall in the bathroom at 6 years old changed me forever. I wouldn't expect to see nothing like that on the wall in the bathroom at 6 years old. And of course, the minute you go in there and see it, what happens? When you go back home, you got some questions for mom and dad. But mom and dad, where you get that from? Mom and dad, can you tell me where you found that from? Who taught you the words in school? You just been there one day. Where'd you get that from? So you're dealing with some things in the world, and Satan throws that at you because he wants to take you off the path that you should be on as children of God. And so it don't matter if you're 6 or 60, you're always going to throw something at you to take you off your path, to get your direction always and your bearings out of whack, as they want to say. And so the things he says, do not always want everything. And that part just talks about this. We'll see things to other kids at school. Same thing. While you're at home, when you come home with your parents, it's not until you go to school or you go out to the world that people start telling you what you don't have, or what you don't do, or you ain't this and you ain't that. While you're at home, you don't hear all of that. You don't see all of that. And so now, same thing. When you go to school, when you come back home, Mama, why I'm not so-and-so? Who told you that? Dad, why I ain't got... Who told you that? Where'd you get that from? So all of a sudden, it's certain things that, well, Dad, why we ain't got so-and-so? What you mean, why we ain't got so? Well, the kids at school say they got this. Now all of a sudden, you've been happy and just even killed. Now you done went to school for a couple of days, and all of a sudden you come and ask your mom and dad and everybody, why don't you have this? And why don't you have that? Or why do I look like this? Or why am I dressing like this? Now you want to be like the other kids because you want to fit in. Or you want to be like the other people, you want to fit in. And so it always go to that old thing, old folks say, don't try to keep up with the Joneses. And some of the stuff the Joneses got, they may not have gotten it in the right way. And I always remember this too. The dad and my aunts and everyone will tell us this. Don't desire to have everything you see somebody else has. Just because they have it don't make them better than you. Don't make them right. Don't make them higher than you. Some of those things, I was coming in the car today. And the thing is, just because you may not have a house on the hill doesn't make you lower than anybody else. But the thing is, they have to understand, just because you have a house on the hill doesn't make you better than anybody else. And so it's like this. A lot of people look at it from this standpoint. They look at it from the level of how much fortune they have. And God said, don't look at it from the standpoint of how much fortune you have. Just look at it how fortunate you are. In other words, you've been allowed some things that other people may not have been allowed. But just because they're rich, don't mean they're more fortunate than you. Rich in man's eye is not what rich is in God's eye. The kids at school may say, well, you don't have this and you don't have that. But you can also tell them, you don't have the things I have either. And a lot of times when people start telling you this type of thing to try to get you to want something, it's because they see something in you that they want. Or they see something in you that they wish they had. It takes a while when you're a child, you just don't get it. It's not that they better than you, but it's something about you that hurts them. That's it. And it's difficult because somebody has told them something to say, well, this child is a lower level child, they don't have this, and you better than them. But then that child that's not supposed to be better comes in. They might be smarter. Might have a little bit more skill. Might have a little bit more talent. But the thing is, now all of a sudden you notice they're trying to put your directions in the things of things versus who you are and what you have as a person. So now you notice, Brother Steve might have been good at marbles. I know he would. But somebody will try to direct him in another direction to try to bring him down, to tear him down, because they don't like the fact that he's good at marbles. And so they're going to say something, Steve can't do so-and-so. Because now, probably what had happened while they were out in recess, Brother Steve took all their marbles that they had because they weren't as good as him. So people the devil will always try to put you in a situation to try to drive you to want something other than what God has given you. You notice? He always going to try to get you to want something other than what God has given. Same thing he did with Adam and Eve. God said, everything is yours. What's the first thing you went and did? Don't you want that tree? Why he won't give you that tree? He said, we got everything. No, you ain't got everything. You ain't got that tree. Now, all of a sudden, her whole focus is going about what she has to about what she doesn't have. Notice how he flips it. And so, when kids get to talking about you, and we talk about experience, not children. When they start talking about you about something, say to yourself, it's something that I have that they won't. That's it. It's something about me. It's not me who is less. They feel that they're lesser than you. Because if they didn't feel they were lesser than you, they wouldn't be coming at you the way they are. That's just the way the world works. It says, do not be guilty of telling bad stories and a foolish talk. What's the first thing they come at you with? Bad stories. Just foolish talk. Nobody don't like you. I just got to this school. Nobody don't know me. You notice that? And I always remember this. When I first went to Port Allen, my sister would always say this. I didn't hang out with nobody. That lesson I learned at Chamberlain when them three friends got me in trouble about that weather, I never forgot. When I went to Port Allen, I was alone by myself. My sister was already there. I stood around and thought something was wrong with it. Look, all I did at recess, it was a pole at the old school. I would lean up against that pole at recess like this. By myself, just looking at everybody. My sister would go by, you can't make no friend with nobody. I stood right there. I don't know none of these people. I don't know any of them. I stood right there. And my sister told me, you looking so sad. No, I'm happy. I'm fine. But then my sister was saying, you need to get to know some people because you walk around here looking just as sad. Now, but what she didn't know, this part of the story, Sister Young don't even know. When I was in class, when I got there, I come from Little Old Ball. They had Corn High, they had Holy Family, they had some other schools in the Allen area. When I got there, this is what I hear folks saying. One come up to me, the superintendent's son, they had never met him before at the time. We heard about you. What you heard about me? I don't know. I just got here. But you notice, we heard about you. Man, I just got here. But the thing is, his superintendent's son. So somewhere along the way, somebody has said something. But at the end point, what happened, the same people who said they heard about you, they were watching all at the same time. And so see, they're watching to see what you're doing. So they can decide whether they're going to become your friend or try to put you down to cause you to go in another direction. Now the thing was, the ones that first became my friends, and y'all saw that young man, when he came, he's a preacher now. He was a junior, I think he was a junior at the time. He and his friend was sitting on the bench. I just happened to be walking by. He said, "Hey, you a freshman?" I said, "Yes." "Well, you know, and I'm not going to tell you what the question was." He said, "Well, we're sitting here. We always courteous to everybody that come here. So you don't mind if we do this, whatever, you know?" I said, no, we don't mind. Well, what they said basically was the issue of when you do one of those numbers, but didn't know. And they did that. I mean, why did you do that? They said, "Well, we asked your permission first, but those guys became my friends." And when he came here that Sunday, Reverend Johnson, Kenneth Johnson, he said, "You still remember that to this day?" I said, "I remember that to this day. That's the first thing y'all did when we met there. But we stayed friends, and we still friends now." So the thing was, it wasn't about somebody trying to get you to talking about bad stories and foolish talk. You don't need all of that. When you find people talking about somebody else and getting caught up in all these things, I didn't mean to stay on this that long. When they're talking foolishness about somebody else, all of those people in that group have a problem with themselves. That's why they sit in that group, they draw on each other. That's why they sit around talking foolish talk and talking about everybody else. Because they have lackings of their own. And so they're trying to build themselves up by putting other people down. He said, these things are not for you to do. Instead, you ought to give thanks for what God has done for you. That's what you do. Everything that is in your life, where you live, everything, the people that you have, God has blessed you with. That's the whole thing. All those other things, it don't matter at all. It don't matter at all. He said, be sure of this. No person who does sex sins or who is not pure would have any part in the holy nation of Christ and of God. All these things you see the politicians fighting over today, God already made a decision on it. They're trying to say, well, you need to change this and do it. God has already made a decision on it. He said the same is true for the person who always wants what other people have. You notice? They have, but they always want what you got. Now you done struggled and got a little bit that you haven't what you have, but they look at you. They got everything already, but they, Brother Steve, man, that's some nice shoes. Now you got shoes on your feet. But you look at them, I want them shoes. You got nice shoes? Yeah, but I want your shoes. That's what the Bible talks about in the Ten Commandments, covered in what somebody else has. See, Alyssa, I like Alyssa's eyes. I wish I had your eyes. And guess what? You got some people gonna be mad at you. Because she got her eyes. She thinks she better than everybody else. All because God gave you eyes from hereditary genes. Now they mad with you because look at her. She got light colored eyes. Now there's been a whole determination based on the fact that she turned around and she did this over my eyes. And don't know nothing else about her. See? Yeah. Foolishness. Yeah. Period. Yeah. It don't make any sense. Or somebody said, you see how she smiles at people? That's natural. Now, my sister, that's just the way she is. Not the older one, the one next to me. It don't matter what the situation is. It's just it's ingrained in her. She'll walk up to you today, and when she look at you, she don't mean nothing by it. But she'll come up to somebody, and some guys will be around, she'll go, yeah. She not even, this is a story, true story. We were driving on highway one night. Me and my other cousin was sitting in the car. We saw the guys pull it up. So girls, y'all understand that they pull up on the side of it. They ain't pulling up just to look at you. They trying to see if you will give them some play, as they say. Yeah. We saw the guys come up behind and look and come to the side. We told them, she was driving. Do not look at the car. We both told her, don't turn your head. Don't do it. Just keep your head straight. Do not turn. We know what's about to happen. The guys pull up, one roll the window down. Oh, y'all think that's nice? They roll the window down. Oh, they like it. Leave it alone. She's driving. You know how the guy goes about it? We just give one of them. Yeah. Give them that head nod and keep going. She gonna stop and she gonna turn. And when she turns, all it took was that. Yeah. There wasn't a nod. Guess what happened? They got behind the car. Yeah. Followed us all the way from across the bridge over on this side. We said, whatever you do, don't turn down the lane and we're going to be able to go home. Why are they following us? We told you not to look at them. All because of a look. You do all because of a look. We had to tell them, look, whatever you do, you go to Irvingville if you have to. But you take Bush Road, turn back around, and you go as fast as you can and go back the other way. We had to lose the guy. All because of a... It don't take anything. And just because they follow behind you, at that age, marriage is not in the picture. They say this becomes a God to them. Do not let anyone lead you on the wrong way with foolish talk. But notice the anger of God comes on such people because they choose not to obey Him. Same way they'll tell you this. The little guys come, the girls not gonna like it. But the little guys, I'm talking to my babies now. I'm helping them fill a daddy here. I'm helping mom too. Yeah. Little guys gonna come up to you. And the way they walk down, because I don't understand how y'all even like it. Because they can't walk good.
No, they can't. They can't.
Look. What's up, Eddie? What's up? I'm going to show y'all some things that they call you that don't listen to them. What's up, Eddie? I like the mind. There's something about the mind. Look. Oh, we just get together. Because she's smiling already. We just get together. Well, my mom said, look, don't worry about mom and dad. Mom and dad can't tell you what to do. You grown, girl. You're a little woman than me. You grown. What daddy won't tell you. I'll be your dad. And see like a little with her head down? Boy, you playing shy. I know your type. They tell me, watch them shy. That's the one you got to watch. All that. And then they start talking about, don't let mom and dad, look, girl, mom and dad ain't gonna need to be telling you what to do. Don't be about just us. Yeah. Just us. Me and you. Tell you what, where you gonna be tonight? I'm gonna swing by here. Around about 10. I'm gonna be in the house.
figure out a way to get out of the house here. You got a window on the other side. Where your room at? Where your mama and them room at? All that. Where your mama and them room at? See? But look, leave the window open on the other side. They ain't gonna know. Y'all ain't got no dog back there, do you? All that now. To talk you out of being obedient to mom and dad, putting food on the table. But they're going to come at you with all kinds of things. And now God's already said, honor your father and your mother. Now you thinking about dishonoring them. Just to go and have a time, you don't even know what the time will be, with somebody you don't even know. Even worse now, they'll get you on the internet and hit you up now. Girl, you on Instagram? Send me a selfie. Send me a selfie. Yeah, we can do something. We can do something. We can do something.
She likes me.
I already know the story. I said, don't be just like Deacon Reverend Young, who your people. You always tell them this. If they can't talk to daddy and mama, they can't talk to you. And see, the reason why the little boys don't want to come to daddy, because daddy already know what kind of game they're running the minute they see. And sure enough, mama gonna know too.
Mama like Medea.
See, mama gonna know if they up to no good.
Yeah.
Alright? Mama gonna know. I remember my daddy did that one time. And Rev did that one time. Brought a young girl by the house. And Dad would just sit back in his chair and rock and he didn't say too much. And she spoke to him and he said, he didn't say hardly anything at all. Took her back, came back home. Rev only said this one word. She ain't the one. That's all that was said. She ain't the one. Y'all hear it?
Yeah.
Now I'm going, how could he get all of that from sitting there? Couldn't have been no 30 or 45 minutes. But he said something on the other one. He did. He said, but she ain't the one. And he also said, what's she covering up? She got that makeup loaded. If she got that much makeup on, she covering something. Daddy don't, son don't hear daddy say that. But daddy knows. Mama didn't say too much. Well, I don't know. I ain't gonna say nothing. But daddy said, she ain't the one. Foolish talk. But at the same time, she's saying things to me. I'm listening to that. Foolish talk. You gotta have an understanding. Alright? Look what the Bible says. Have nothing to do with them. See that? Have nothing to do with them. At one time you lived in darkness. Now you are living in the light that comes from the Lord. Live as children who have the light of the Lord in them. The other reason why they're looking at you the way they are, you have the light of the Lord in you. I always remember, even in school, I didn't want to do anything that was going to defy my parents, but anything that I knew God was looking at me was going to defy God. I didn't want to do it. But it was always a situation where they would tell you this. Nobody gonna know. They won't know what you're doing. They always tell you that. Your mom and daddy won't know. They're not at school with you. You can do what you want to do. It's not going to matter. Everything that goes on in your life, it doesn't matter if you have friends at the house, mom and dad go find out about it. And to this day, y'all, how they find out? Nobody told them. Mom and daddy ain't going to know about it. Now, I'm not going to give all mom and dad's secrets of how they know about it today. But I promise you, they will know about it. Mom and daddy are looking in my eyes and see something on that school today that you don't want to talk about.
That's just the way it is. And so God has a way of working with the parents because he knows they're responsible for those children. That's just the way it is. Simple, just the way it is. It said, this light gives us truth. It makes us right with God. It makes us good. Learn how to please God. That's the key. Learn how to please God. Whenever I did something that I knew that the Bible said wasn't right or my mom and dad told me wasn't right, you know who I always wound up getting in trouble? Me. The other people who were doing something and would say, well, why don't you do this with us? Ain't nothing going to happen. Every time when nothing happened to them, but something would always happen to me. Why? Because the rightness of God is in us. The light of God is in us. God chastises us because he's directing us in a way where he lets us know what we've done is wrong. Always. And you always notice they even show it in the movies. The person who really is not really a criminal or a thug or whatever you want to call it, they get hooked up with the other people, they always be the one that winds up getting hurt. Why? Because those folks know that really that's not them. And so they use them to get off on their own, to get themselves out of trouble. That's the way it works all the time. Always. Because you're not one of the people of Satan. You're a child of God. It said, have nothing to do with the bad things done in darkness. Instead, show that these things are wrong. And even at that age, I didn't know it. But at that age, when those young guys were throwing up in the tree, the Lord put it in me and said, man, that ain't right. Don't throw at that tree. Oh, don't worry about it. Ain't nobody gonna see us. But what happened? I knew it wasn't right. I left, but still wound up getting in trouble because I happened to be on the scene before it happened. And what happened? The same three that was supposed to be my friends, when the window got broke, guess what happened? Lenny was there too. I was nowhere around. They told him, man, don't do that. Don't do it. Come on here, take it. I'm gone. Wasn't at the scene. But because you happened to be there for a little while and they wanted to get the trouble off their back, guess what they threw it? They threw it on me. Because they were trying to get out of trouble. And so when they draw you in, they just wanted you to be a part of the group from the aspect so if they do get in trouble, they have somebody to put it on. That's just the way it is. Rusty would tell you that, Mama would tell you that. You talk to anybody else in here, they would tell you. The only reason they come into you is because they figure, well, we can get over one love, man. We can get her to come into the group, and if something else happens, we'll get her to do everything that we want to do. To prove loyalty to us to be in the group. You got to show us our friend. We'll see if you're our friend. Go over there and take that. You prove to us that you are our friend. That's the way the gang mentality still works today. Every person that comes in, and it's funny, they have to prove themselves by doing something illegal. I'm thinking that the man that they shot at Baton Rouge last week, with the shelter, because they said they don't know why they did it. They said somebody just rolled up on him. It was just like it just random. Somebody told them just to go on the street and shoot somebody. To become a part of a group, I guarantee you. And they didn't know that man, and because they said, I don't know him, they went up to him and shot him. Just so they can prove to themselves they want to be a part of a group that's lined in darkness and evil. That won't work in your life. He said, have nothing to do with the bad things done in darkness. Instead, show that these things are wrong. It is a shame even to talk about these things done in secret. What do your friends tell you? Don't tell nobody. Your mom and dad don't want to know. Then what happened? You didn't tell your mom and dad. But they done went home. They done wrote something down. And put your name on the sheet on there. And mom and dad, what y'all did today? did nothing. I just asked you a question. What y'all did today? Oh. I didn't want to do it, but listen, they was, now they calling you mom and daddy. But your child, and then y'all had nothing to do with it. Y'all wasn't even on the scene. Y'all was on the other side of school. They just happened to see you walking by that day. But they gonna throw your name out there. In a second. Quick in a hurry. He said, all things can be seen when they are in the light. Everything that can be seen is in the light. And the Holy Writers say, wake up, you who are sleeping. Rise from the dead and Christ will give you life. You know what the old folks used to always tell us? Whenever we got in trouble, somebody was trying to get us in something. Remember what they said? Wake up! Yeah. You don't see what they're doing? Wake up! Open your eyes! And we all, y'all heard it, we heard it. Open your eyes! That girl got you blinded. That boy just took your sight away. You can't see nothing but him. Open your eyes. Wake up. And see what I'm telling you. Well, Mama, he loved me. I'll tell y'all something. I told my daughter this. Brother Steve tell my other daughter this. If a young man come up to you, talk about how much he loves you, or he's much like you, or you do something to him, can you do something for him? You just ask me this question. Do you know Jesus? If he say who, well, we ain't got nothing to talk about. Because it's like this. Jesus and God are the only persons who know love because they are love. Anybody that doesn't know Jesus, doesn't know God, they don't know what love is. Couldn't tell you what love is. They'll throw the word out there, but they don't know what it is. Don't have the slightest idea what it is. If they're going to slide over from you, and he, get me now, no, you was thinking, I wasn't talking to her, I wasn't getting on her, you know. You're the only one for me. Well, why you were talking to the other one over there? And then the other one on the other side. And my friend told me. You're not dumb. Y'all smart young lady. Wake up. Don't let them throw that darkness over you. God gave you knowledge, He gave you intelligence. Don't fall for it. But I'm serious. If they talk to you and ask you, like the Bible said, I heard something she said, they said, what's your name? Jesus. See how they handle that. You hooked up with somebody? Now I hate that thing. Hooked up. You hooked up with somebody already? Yeah. What's his name? Jesus. If you can do better than him, and I don't think you can, because can't nobody do better than him. I want to be your friend. If you can be better than Jesus, and when they walk see you, you know then they can walk away. Quick. You'll find how serious they are. Because you have to put it like this, like we just said, you didn't pass recess. You don't have time to do it. And Pastor talking about this because, see, y'all, I know his dad and mama baby, but y'all my babies too. And I already know what's coming. Because I tried to avoid it when she was 2, and that just broke my little heart. I always tell this story. I said it'll be 15 or 16 before you little boy even get close to it. She's still in a little carriage. A little boy, 2 years old, walked up. Look at it. Just broke my heart. I can't do nothing to him because he ain't but 2 years old. But his mama said, boy, how many times I told you about kissing babies like that? Daddy don't want nobody around his babies. Mama either. And so you got 3 now. Don't want nobody around his babies that's going to do his babies in their home. So that's y'all, if they come up to you, Jesus.
Amen.
Just because, can you do better than what Jesus do for me? Can you? They cut that off. So be careful how you live. Live as men who are wise and not foolish. Make the best use of your time. Notice. Don't let nobody waste your time. Be careful how you live in a manner that's pleasing to God. Know everything that happened during the week, but that's just another little testimony. Just because you're not deacon's age, my age, daddy's age, don't mean that you can't leave here. It can happen like that. Y'all notice? That was an experience. God took care of it. I know that, but that was just an experience. Things happen like that. And that's why we give you the cards and say, make sure you pray to God every day. Because things are happening so quickly, you may not have time to pray. Live in a way that's pleasing to Him. Not to the world. Don't get caught in all those foolish things. The Bible said, look, these are sinful days. Don't be foolish. Understand what the Lord wants you to do. That's the first question you ask yourself. I know they used to say about what would Jesus do. You don't have to ask about what He would do. It's, what did Jesus do? Simple as that. Whatever you're doing in this life, how would Jesus deal with it? Would Jesus go and talk about people? No. Would Jesus get in talking a conversation and putting other folk down? No. Do those things that's going to build you up. You always notice something? When you are you and you don't try to become like somebody else, I tell you, sometimes the people are going to say things about you. But know what's going to happen when you stand your ground? They will have respect for you. They will say, she's her own person. That's what they do. She's not going to be like nobody else. She's her own person. Believe that. And they respect you for it. Now they're going to try to see if you're going to want to be a part of them. And they're going to do things. And if they see you doing that, they're going to say, she weak. She weak. She weak. Whatever we tell them to do, she gonna do it. Whatever we tell them to do, they weak. And when you're not that, what they gonna say? Fool, he's stupid. He's stupid. Don't be foolish. Be wise. Understand what the Lord wants you to do. Be who you are. So he said, be the Lord's lamb. Be His young sheep. Be somebody meek and mild. Be you. You know that? When a female, you know what they call a female sheep, huh? What? A you. E-W-E. You. Be you. Don't be nobody else. Be me. Be listen. Don't try to be Janet Jackson. Don't be trying to be Nicki Minaj.
Yeah. See how it
Don't be Miley Cyrus. Be you. Be a symbol of Christ. Don't try to be somebody else. If God wanted you to be that, He would have made you that. God didn't want me to be Steve. He made Steve. That's Steve. He didn't make Steve to be Lenny. I'm Lenny. Be you. Be the Lord's lady. That means you be refined. Be polite, young ladies. Don't walk around talking like you no diva. You don't have no itch that you need to scratch. None of that. Lady is this. That means this. A high grade of woman. That means you have respectability, is what I'm saying. That's what that means. That means you possess dignity. That means goodness, self-esteem. You don't need nobody to tell you you're beautiful. Know why? God said He made you. And when God made you, He said this simple word. You're good. That's all you need to know. Self-respect, you respect yourself. Don't ever let anybody put you in a situation that will make you bring yourself down. Have respect for yourself. Because if you don't have respect for yourself, nobody else will respect you. You see a lot of the kids saying, well, I'm going to take my respect. You can't take respect. It's earned. Have worthiness. Know why another reason? The young boys will come up to you. And I know this because your daddy know this and all of it. When you're different, young boys respect different. Believe it or not. If you look like the rest of them, you dress like the rest of them, you act like the rest of them, know what the young boy is going to say? I'll hook up with them, but that's it. As far as it goes. But when you different, they know you're different. But you got to be careful because they'll come up to you and say this. You different. But don't let that difference allow them to run over you and do all those things to you that they'll do to the other ones. Be the Lord's lily. This is what lilies do. They be lifting. In other words, invigorating, refreshing. Just like they see you. They see Alyssa coming, they see you smile. It's just something about Alyssa when she comes in the room, it just lights up. Good. Stay that way. Don't be saying, oh, no. This is coming. This is don't play. Be inspired, encouraged, motivated. And the old folks say, you can't say nothing good about nobody, don't say anything about them. Lift them up. Be lavishing. And that lavishing in the world is not the same as lavishing when you talk about the word. Lavishing in the word means bestowing, be given. There's things about you. Be yielding, in other words, generate, be producing. Don't just take. You want to people, all they don't be no gold digger. All they do is want. That's it. Be a symbol of beauty and splendor. In other words, y'all are like in the y'all know Cinderella story. You know about her two evil sisters. And when Cinderella came in the room, what happened? When Cinderella came at the ball, everybody stopped dancing and looked at Cinderella. And the first thing they said, look how beautiful she is. How much splendor she has. Have that. I'm going to tell you a story on campus. Don't be like this. Had a young lady one time. We stand on campus, Southern University. Engineering building, all engineering students on this side. Science building, all the science building on this side. Everybody was going to class. Everybody at the same time did this. Literally. Y'all still there? Here comes a young lady. She wasn't dressed beautifully and splendiferous. The old folk would have said, that's what you. She comes walking down the sidewalk. She hadn't got to the building yet. But everybody turned because the wind is blowing and they smell an aroma coming from that direction. She looks and she sees all of the guys, the engineering guys. All of a sudden they back up against the wall like this and going like this. She sees them backing away doing it. She thinks like, oh yeah, I got them. The instructors on the other side of the science building doing the same thing. Everybody just doing this. And they pointing at her. She sees all the boys pointing. And so as she comes, she starts doing a little. When she gets in front of the building where they all are, I'm telling you, this happened. Almost at the same time. All of the guys went, oh. That's what they did. They covered their nose. An instructor went over to her. Came out of the building. He said, baby, too much is over here. He says, all right to us when you come by and the aroma attracts us. But when we smell you coming almost 2 blocks away, that ain't attractive to nobody. So by the time she was coming, she would walk with her head up like this. By the time she passed by, she was like this. Right head down. Don't overdo it. Just be who you are. That will be attractive to people. When you try to overdo it, I promise you. Every man in this house can tell you, that's too much. Too much is not attractive. Be the Lord's love. Have the Lord's affection. Have His caring spirit. Have His friendliness. Have His warmth. Have that much love that He has for us. That's what He's supposed to do. When you do those things, you'll be His lamb. You'll be His lily. You'll be His maiden. You'll be His blood. That's the same thing when we're talking about the young men. I know the ladies and they will say the same thing. If a young man put on too much cologne. And he walked into the room trying to attract, I guarantee you, they step back from it. I'm getting nods like this right now. Be the person that God would have you to be. When you dress like this, dress to attract His eyes. Dress to attract Him. Everything you do, do it to attract Him. Because He's the one that supplies, He provides, He does everything for you. Those other ones, not going to do it. At 12, at 13, at 14, little boys, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Don't dress to attract them. Don't do it. They may show up for a little while, and they're going their mighty way. But God's going to be there with you all the time. Jesus will be there with you all the time. So that's what we're supposed to do. That's who we're supposed to be. Amen?